Hey guys, Brian here with Intune Marine, and this is the Advantage series. Today we're going to showcase the Vexus Boats DVX22s, which is new to the lineup as of 2024 and one of the hottest boats on the market right now. We're going to walk through this boat inside and out, give you measurements, all of the details throughout this entire rig. You're not going to want to miss this. Let's take a closer look. Before we kick off this Advantage series of the DVX22s, a couple things to note. This boat is 21 foot 10 inches, has a 101 inch beam with a 60 gallon gas tank. A couple things you're going to notice. This windshield looks different. This side plate looks different. It's got jump seats. It's got floor storage. A couple things that are unique to this boat and why we're going to go through it with you. We're going to start in the back here. It's got a Mercury 400 V10. This is a new motor for 2024. There's not a lot of them out there. This boat has its own propeller. So Mercury's making a specific prop for this 400 V10 engine. That is a 27 pitch Revolution X prop. We're still experimenting. I believe, don't quote me, that there's 2 or 3 different props for this engine. I believe it's 2, but we're still monkeying around with that. As we look at the back of this boat, a DVX22 is going to come standard with trim tabs, the Bennett trim tabs, Bob's hydraulic jack plate. Vexus gives you the power of choice. You can utilize an Atlas jack plate or a Bob's high performance jack plate. The option's up to you. We've outfitted this boat with a remote kicker, giving you the option to put a kicker on here if you so choose to do so. If not, we can tie these back in and you'll have a static kicker bracket plate back here, which is also something, if you fell in the water, you have something to grab onto. Walking over on this side, with the common theme of Vexus boats and the DVX lineup, you're gonna have the back hatch that they're very, very well known for. You're gonna have your onboard charger plug-in right here, your drain plug, and your master power. And you can get creative with this back panel. You've seen some things that we've done in some of our other videos with powerhouse lithium setups, etc., where we've actually manipulated and changed some of this panel and moved some stuff out here to accommodate all the switches. This is probably one of the nicest ladders that I've ever seen. Really nice grab handle right here for entering into the boat. It's not going to impede and hit your trim tab. That's a big deal. Very easy to get into the boat. As I step down, very easy to put it away. Done deal. If your kid left this open and you were to get up on plane, there's a big red button up on your dash that's going to be illuminated, letting you know that this is down. That's a great safety feature. A couple other items to note here. On standard on all DVX models are going to be low buckle tie downs, one hand operation. Very, very easy. Couple things. You're going to notice that this is not going to chafe against your glass. That's a really big deal, protecting your investment. These pieces right here that are welded out to ensure that that doesn't chafe on there, that's a big deal. These trailers with the oversized redundant lighting that they have, the drain plug, all of those features, those small things. There's a license plate holder right here as well that we forgot to mention that is incorporated in the trailer. So your license plate's not going to be hanging down. You go to that boat ramp and now it's going to be split in half. Those are the things that I'm talking about with detail. And here's the biggest one. How is this boat made? This boat is made differently than the boats that you're looking at. And the reason for that is it's done through a vacuum bagged infused process, and they're utilizing that on the fender and the entire boat, the hull and the top cap. What does that mean? That means that this boat is going to have the exact appropriate amount of resin to fiberglass, meaning that this boat has more fiberglass than resin. A lot of boats have more resin than fiberglass. And think about that. Resin is like 2-part epoxy. It's not gonna flex. Why is that important to you? That means you're gonna have a stronger, more consistent, lighter, faster boat that's gonna handle the test of time, and that's a big deal. So we're gonna start up here, right at the front of the bow of the boat, and talk about a couple things, and then keep watching because we're gonna walk through this boat and we're gonna take measurements of all the areas that you wanna know. First and foremost, you're gonna have the pivoting trailer step. This is proprietary and unique. No one else is doing this. Why is this important? A lot of people in this position, when they jackknife their trailer, have been putting this in the back of their tailgate, and that's not good. Vexus came out with the pivoting trailer step. This is gonna be the trailer position. I thought it was a very innovative thought that they had there. Obviously, the boat is gonna come standard with a swing away tongue. This trailer, which we're gonna dive into the trailer here in a little bit, has a torsion axle. Unbelievable trailer for trailing down the road. You're gonna have your jack, all the things. But a big thing to note is this right here. Something that Vexus is doing that you don't really see very often, is the Hamby's keel guard is actually recessed into the hull. That is the best keel guard that you can buy, and it is part of the mold of the boat, recessed in there. And then this stainless steel piece up here, this also is put in here. And why is that important? Because there's a lot of wear and tear when you're coming up and you're hitting this bow roller constantly. You just put a lot of wear and tear up on the front of your boat, and that's just a really nice feature to keep your investment looking nice. Your trolling motor. So obviously on this boat, you're gonna see the brand new Minnkota Quest, which is a brand new brushless trolling motor that they're offering. On the Vexus here, you'll notice this kind of almost this little flange right here, and that's incorporated in the hull to flatten this out so your trolling motor is on a flat, stable surface. That is a big deal when you're using forward-facing sonar or Mega 360 or any of those things, of having your trolling motor straight in the water. So let's walk up into the boat and take a closer look. First thing you're gonna notice on this boat is how ginormous this front deck is. So the DVX22 and the 22s, they're gonna be very similar up here, almost the same. I'm 6'2". I wanna show you how big this front deck is. That's crazy. That is crazy how wide that is. Up here on the front deck, like I had mentioned before, we have the Minnkota Quest, which is brand new for this year. We have this boat outfitted with 2 Solix 12s. These are flush mounted. They do offer an option to have a dual Vexus bracket where you can run 2 graphs on here. We've done 3 units, we've done 4. Obviously, it's endless of what you can do. But with forward-facing sonar and Mega 360, Vexus having the pickle fork front that you're gonna notice in the front of the boat, which is very unique, that is really nice for fishing 2 anglers. When I'm over here, this person's all by himself over here, and you could have another person over here. This space is just not for fishing. Let's say you say, I don't really fish up there that much, Brian. I fish in the cockpit, that's fine. This boat, because it has a big front deck, a lot of people forget now that my storage compartments are gonna be humongous. I'm gonna have a ton of storage. So let's dive into the compartments and take a closer look. And if you're looking for a compartment to sleep in, these compartments are gigantic. One really cool part too, if you haven't seen them, are the striker plates that Vexus has put on all of their compartments. In case your buddy drops your compartment, it's not going to nick or damage your investment. That is a really nice feature. All of the construction of all the components as well, from all of the shocks that they use to the latches, everything is made of high quality stainless steel. Furthermore, these channels, and we talk about these channels a lot, and the water evacuation system that Vexus has. If somehow, some way you do get water up here, the water evacuation drain holes that are in the corner of these compartments are the largest that I've ever seen. It's gonna take a lot. These boxes are incredibly dry. They're gonna do the absolute best to keep your investment dry and safe, because we got a lot of money in these boats. So looking over here, we also have which you can utilize as a bait well, or you could utilize it as additional storage or a cooler. It's totally up to you. That's a really nice feature that they have right here. And then again, with this compartment here, these are fiberglassed, fully finished boxes with the EVA on the bottom. There's no carpet. There's no opportunity to have mold or mildew in there. It's gonna stay dry, and man, you can get a lot of stuff in there. So, and to finish that out, the rubber seal that they have here is really going to secure this nice and tight, so you're not gonna get that moisture in there. And then one thing I really encourage you to do, whether it's us or a different place you're going to look at a Vexus boat, I want you to grab these. You heard me talk about the infusion process of these boats. They're utilizing that same technology on the lids and everything inside the boat as well. I want you to grab this, and I want you to try to flex and pull this back and forth, and you're going to find out and feel this is probably one of the stronger lids that I've ever felt in my life. The thickness of it and the rigidity of it, that is a really big deal. As I'm kneeling here on the middle compartment, you're gonna notice this EVA with the cool Vexus badge going down the middle. Let's take a closer look inside this one. In this middle compartment right here, one thing you're gonna notice right away is how wide it is, and I really like that. Closing and opening this is effortless. It's really nice. You can make this however you want. You can put a billion 3700 and 3600 planos in here, put a couple rods on the top, put a bunch of rods over on this side, put the ones that you're gonna utilize for the day in here. It's just a really nice open concept compartment that I really enjoy. Those top rod holders right there, that's where you're gonna get that 8-foot 10-inch rod to go into this compartment. Now we're going to take a rod, because I'm certain that we can, for all you musky guys who call me all the time about 9-foot rods, I think we can get a 9-foot rod in there. Standing here at the windshield, which they have made some modifications to for 2024, good modifications. No, they didn't change the windshield, because who would want to change this windshield, because it's amazing. They made it better, which is a really cool characteristic of Vexus. They're constantly innovating and changing and adapting on the fly. If something needs to be fixed, they don't wait 2 years. They do it real time right now, and I think that's a really cool thing about a company. Let's talk about what they changed. So right here, friction hinge. Everybody wanted this. It's a really cool feature. Now everybody also wanted this. Now it's gonna clip in. Everybody wanted a button right here. So that's a really nice feature. I love the friction hinge. You'll also see kind of the trim along here, along with these side plates, are all one piece, and they're a lot cleaner. Again, it's really hard to nitpick and say, hey, what they had before wasn't perfect, but they're always looking to make it even better, and I really respect them for that. Sitting here in the cockpit of the 22s, I'm gonna go over a couple things. I'm sitting in the VX upgraded seat. I'm a big fan of these seats. They kind of roll up on the side and kind of hug your hips a little bit. We've also incorporated the Airwave pedestal seats, which make a very enjoyable ride while going down the lake. One thing to note versus the regular seat right here in the VX seat, just know that this is a bigger, wider seat, so it could limit a little bit of mobility going back and forth, so just make sure that you are aware of that. Looking at the console and how we have this boat outfitted, Vexus is going to offer 2 standard multifunctional gauges. We chose to go with the Merc Monitor Upgrade, which is just a more robust gauge that Vexus offers as an option. It gives you more information from the computer, fault codes, etc., in case something happens on the water. We did a Solix 12. Your Bob's hydraulic jack plate gauge is going to be located right here. and then the push button ignition right here. You also can do a key if you want. So I just really want to stress and how cool and unique that is, that Vexus is giving you the opportunity to use whatever graph manufacturer you like, or trolling motor, whether it's Lowrance, Humminbird, or Garmin. They can do it all. They don't box you into, hey, you got to use these graphs. Whatever you want, you can do however you want. If you want these gauges mounted in different spots, work with your salesperson. Vexus will do that. They're all about customization, and it's a really cool thing. Also over here, you see how my position of my feet are right now, because we had that tray that we looked at earlier. It's actually really comfortable with your feet in this position. It just feels super natural. And as we look over here, you're gonna have this area for setting your phone or different things. I love this for putting my phone right there. It will never move. Also, the trim tab module is gonna be up here on the gunnel where it should be. Your hand is gonna be on the throttle as you're looking forward, and you just slide over, and now you can toggle back on your trim tabs, which is really nice. You're gonna have all of your gauges right here, right at arm's length. Everything has a breaker right underneath it in case something were to happen. Quick reset your breaker, very simple. Your remote kicker is back here as well. Your throttle, if you choose to get a remote throttle. Otherwise, this would not be here. Other than that, you're gonna have all of your fill and empty recirc for your main live well, for your bait well, etc. And then you'll have another one if you have the intensive care live well system, which we'll go over when we get back there. Other than that, very clean. That is the number one thing that my takeaway of their dash is: very clean, very strong, very rigid. I want you to get in a boat and I want you to pull on things, and you're just gonna really see the attention to the detail and what sets these boats apart. Sitting over in the passenger seat now, it's gonna mimic a little bit of the similarity of stuff and then a little bit of different. So you're gonna have a glove box right in front of you. It's huge. There's a big giant layer in here. It's all carpeted and finished. And I talk about this a lot when we do these videos, guys. Stick your head in, look around, look at all of the finished product. That's where people cut corners. They don't cut corners. All of these, super, super strong. We've outfitted this boat with a stereo system, the Polk audio. Inside this little cubby here, you're gonna have USB adapters for charging phones, etc. And then up here, there's gonna be another cubby. One really cool feature also is over here where your rod storage will go, and we'll get more into that, but over here, they actually have an item for your ski pylon. That's a big deal. Most boats don't have that built within their boat. The ski pylon is really big and clunky and heavy, and for them to have a place for it down here out of the way so it's not banging around, I think that was a really cool home run that they had. The primary difference with the 22S is this back layout. You're gonna get jump seats and a split live well, and we'll go more into depth on that as we walk through the boat, but I wanted to really highlight this. Right now we have these back two seats in place, so we have 6 total seats. I wanna show you how much space this cockpit actually has. Again, I already mentioned up there, but I'm 6'2", but I say that to help you so you can kind of gauge what I'm saying. As I sit down here with this rail right here, I have so much room. I am not even remotely by this person. I have my own space. When I sit in this seat and I'm sitting up like this, I'm not even touching this person, and this can be adjusted forward and back. Totally have a ton of space. And as I walk up here, got a ton of space right here. I hope that kind of showcases how much space is truly in this area, and you can customize this to however you want. You can take these 2 back seats out if you'd like. You'll always have 4 seats. We've removed these 2 back seats, and you really can see how big this cockpit really is. We're gonna dive into some of the main things that make this 22S here in just a moment. We're gonna start off with the battery box, which is gigantic. A couple things, this will accommodate up to 5 batteries. You can get your onboard chargers, 5 batteries, all in here. A couple things that Vexus is doing, and the reason why we enjoy this battery box so much is because everything is in one location. Your breakers for your Vexus View harness up in the bow of the boat and at the console, we didn't touch on that. There's going to be the Vexus View harness that they have for all of your electronics and different things. There'll be a breaker in this box, one for the bow, one for the console. There'll be a breaker for your console master power and also for your trolling motor, all in one location. Why is that important? That is important because now you're not having to chase into another compartment to grab a battery. You're not having to go back here under a seat in a compartment. Everything is in one spot, super easy. Also, you know, guys up in the north or anywhere where you have to possibly take your batteries out at the end of the year, this is really nice. This is wide open. I can just grab my battery and pull it out. I'm not having to chase or go under different things to grab my batteries. The water evacuation system as well, this massive drain back here, which is really nice. Make sure all that water gets out of there. And then obviously the Vexus EVA throughout this entire cockpit. It's really, really nice. They utilize a pattern and then they have texture in it. And a little bit of aesthetic, but it's actually by design. All these lines that they have in here really channels the water to get it back to the back of the boat to really evacuate that water. That's a humongous deal. Over here, we're gonna open these 2 compartments. You're not gonna notice this in a DVX20 or 22. You actually have in-floor storage now. It's just extra storage. It's something that they hadn't done before. It gives you the opportunity to put more stuff in your boat. You know, you can put you know, fenders, ropes, planer boards, just anything you want. Out of sight, out of mind, put it in there. And it's just a really cool feature. And that's another thing too that we didn't touch on is, did you guys notice how that just sucked down? That's the Vexus compression latch. It's just one of the finer latches that we've ever seen and really pulls that compartment nice and tight. And then just with, you know, the aesthetic flair on the S series boat, they're doing all of this real nice badging here on the side walls, which is kind of protecting your glasswork and different things as well. There's this added little cubby, which is going to be the same on both sides. I'm sticking my hand in here just so you guys can kind of see. I would say it's about to right here. And then on this side, approximately about right there. So just some extra items that you want to put in there, you can. I want to really focus on this area now. So anybody who's seen the 20S videos that we've done on the 20S, obviously this is the big brother sister to the 20. You're going to get the jump seats in the back. Some things that you're going to notice right away about these jump seats from the different manufacturers out there. They're a lot wider. Wider means more comfortable. They also open this way, and I've talked about that a lot. Some companies, you open it from here and it just doesn't make sense because you're inside the boat. These are all fully finished compartments. Spray foam throughout the entire boat. That is a cooler. You can make that a cooler, you can make it a garbage, you can plug the bottom and you can make it dry storage. Whatever you want to do, you can pick whatever you want to do in these compartments. That's the cool part about them. Going to the live well, and one thing I'll just quick touch on, as you see the blue lighting in the live well, is all of the lighting throughout the boat underneath the console is going to be red, the compartments are going to be white, and the live well is going to be blue for the red, white, and blue as they're made here in Arkansas, and I think that's super cool. Couple things, immediately you're gonna notice these have doors on them. Plexiglass doors on tension hinges, which is, it's just really cool. I mean, if your kids are, if you have sunnies in here and you're out fishing, you just keep this closed so the fish can't jump out and the water can't spray out, and they can just sit here like an aquarium and look at them. It's a really cool deal. These are called slam latches, meaning that it's a one-hand operation. Open that. So the Vexus is going to come with the oxygenator in here. It's an upgraded feature in the live well, which is really nice. You're going to have a live well divider in the middle. That is a big difference between this and the 22. Instead of having the single giant live well, they're going to split it here in the middle. And the reason why they did that is to incorporate pedestal right here, a seat. The 22S is going to come standard with a ski tow pylon. So this is going to be standard, which is really nice. Tool holders right here. So if you're fishing in the back, there's also the tool holders up in the bow. As we move over, this boat has been outfitted with the intensive care live well system. And what that is that's going to give you the ability to fill that water all the way up to the top of that plexiglass and pressurize it so those fish can't slosh around and hit the sides. Why is that important? If you fish tournaments or you want to keep your fish alive. So it's totally up to you if that makes sense for you. They give you an option, and nobody's doing that, and I think it's a really cool feature that they have to make sure that your catch gets back to the weigh-in lively. Another thing to note too is a lot of times when you have jump seats, because they are a seat, it's going to be kind of a little wonky when you're walking across them. This is incredibly stable, strong. There's nothing flexing or moving or anything like that. That's very important because you're going to be back here and you're going to be fishing and you don't want to fall in. So that's a really, really good feature. Thanks guys for sticking around here while we continue to go through this Advantage series of this 22S. We're gonna quick rip through all of the measurements in this boat. I get a lot of calls from you guys asking about certain dimensions, what rods truly can go in these compartments. Stick around, we're gonna quick run through all of this. So we're gonna start up here on the front deck. I'm gonna call that 13¼ deep. Obviously, underneath these lips, guys, there's more room going up. So I'm just going to the bottom piece here. I'm gonna call that 17 inches across. Bait well, I'm gonna call that 13 inches. I'm gonna call that 16 inches across. And we're going to be the same on this side. 13 inches, 16 inches. Up here in the front deck as well, this is a 7'6" trolling rod. Goes right into the tube and you have a little bit more room as well. So really, really nice to accommodate all of your longer rods. And we'll come down here to the middle compartment. $54¼ I'm gonna call that 21¾ across. And then the big one, I get tons of guys asking me about this. 9-foot rods. Vexus has it labeled on their website for 8 foot 10 inches. This is a 7'6" rod. I don't have a 9-footer, I'm sorry guys. This middle compartment, those 3 black rod tubes right there, those are where you're gonna have that 8-10. 18⅛. 7 6-foot rod, 18⅛. What does that mean? that means you can get a 9-footer in here. That is a big deal for the musky fishermen. All right, coming down here, let's run back to these new 22s. Compartments in the floor, 33 inches. I'm just gonna call that 10. That's kind of a tough measurement in there. $12 inches. Again, to the bottom of this piece right here. And again, this goes up in there. So, live walls. Get a lot of questions on live walls. I'm gonna go across approximately 36 inches, 36 inches wide, 15 and a half depth, 11 and a half to the bottom piece here. Lastly, the battery tray, 39. $18 and a quarter. And then before I forget, because I forgot to talk about it, so on a DVX 20 and 22, you have an access panel right here where you have storage, and that's an access panel to get to your pumps and whatnot. This is how you get to it on the S model. So you would have to remove this one battery, and then you have this access panel which gives you that access there. All right, now that I'm working up a sweat here from running around, I know I'd make a terrible contractor, but now that we've done all the inside boxes, I want to do the outside. I would say the bench is 81 inches, about 81 inches. 83 and a half. And we know the beam is 101. From the cooler, $80 inches to the back here. Right here, 79 and a half. Coming up here. $64 and a half. This is the big difference right here, guys, with the pickle fork front. So you have, let's call it 20 and a quarter on both sides of this recessed tray. 92 inches. Now that we're all done measuring this boat, I think we got all of the measurements that you guys are gonna want. If there's one that we didn't get, please comment below in this video. We're happy to do it for you. And before we wrap this video up, guys, there's two things I forgot to talk about. Up here on the trailer, one thing that they are incorporating, which is super cool, is an e-brake. You don't have to chock your tire. You're just gonna engage that down and you're gonna have a brake. Really, really nice feature. And take a look at those sick rims that they have for 2024. Those just, I mean, those are a head turner for sure. So with all of that being said, guys, I'm Brian with Intune Marine. This is the Advantage series on the Vexus DVX22s. We greatly appreciate you watching, commenting, and subscribing to our channel. It means the world to us. And we're gonna keep doing this stuff. We're gonna keep making these videos for you guys. All the way from Flippin, Arkansas, where Vexus are made, to Richmond, Minnesota, where Intune Marine was made. We'll see you at the lake.